Well, hey guys, what are you doing hanging out under the hood of my truck? Welcome back to the channel. I'm just out here in the pole barn tonight. Thought I'd put a new air filter in the 22 F350 with the Godzilla. First time I've had to change the air filter on the truck. Getting a first look at what the job is going to entail here. So I was actually thinking about you guys the other day. I got a comment on one of the recent gas mileage videos I did. You guys aren't probably going to be able to see real well on this air filter coming out of here, but it looks like we're going to have to take this screw out to get this horn out of the way. Like I said, I was thinking about you guys because I got a comment the other day on, I think it was one of the towing gas mileage videos. Guy asked me, where do I fill my truck up when I'm towing? Because obviously those of us coming from, diesels know that it's a lot easier with a diesel to get fuel because you can just pull around and fill up where the semis pull up. When you've got your trailer or your fifth wheel behind you. So what I do, and I will actually show you guys this here in a few minutes, we'll go back in the house. I use Google Maps, and this is one of the reasons that I felt it was important to do all the gas mileage videos, not because I'm a whiner, like all the diesel guys think, all of us gas guys are whining about our fuel mileage, and want to carry on and tell everybody to go buy a Prius for mileage. I think it's important to know your mileage just for the simple fact of figuring out your range, how far you can travel on a tank, and then you can calculate your fuel stops that way. So that's kind of the whole purpose of me posting all the gas mileage videos that I've posted in the past, is to kind of help you guys out when you're looking at towing and wondering, all right, where am I going to get fuel? So this is turning out to be quite the little pain in the butt. There we go. Whew. I don't know if any of you guys have changed your air filter yet, but that's kind of a pain. Well, that one's definitely due to be replaced. Got some junk in it. Get down here and clean some of that out. No need for that to go through the new one. So what I like to do is I use a combination of Google Maps and Google Sheets. So Google Sheets, I just create a list and I call it like RV friendly gas stops. And then what I'll do is I'll create like routes. We live in Michigan and we travel mostly in Michigan. So I'm going to either go up 75 or I'm going to go over and up 131 or maybe across 69. So I'll look at those routes and I'll find where my fuel stops are. And then I just make notes in my spreadsheets like, okay, if I'm going this direction, this is where my fuel window is going to put me. This is the gas station I need to hit. But if we're going somewhere that I'm not familiar with, going a route I've never taken before, that's when I'm really going to hone in on Google Maps. So I'm going to calculate my distance by entering in Google Maps my start and stop point. Then I'm going to take, okay, my truck, right? It's a 34-gallon fuel tank. I like to leave a quarter tank for my safety window. I cut it really close years ago with my old Dodge with the diesel, and I never want to be in that shape again. So fortunately, we didn't run out, but we were close. So I like to say, well, 30 gallons. I figure a 30-gallon tank, I just throw that 4 gallons right out the window. That's my reserve, right? And if you think about it, 4 gallons, that's not much of a reserve when you're pulling your trailer getting 7 miles a gallon. What are you going to get? 28 miles. So I'd like to double that and have like a 50-mile window of reserve. So that puts me at 8 gallons. So 8 from 34, you're down to 26 gallons. So you figure your truck's going to get roughly 7 to 8 miles a gallon towing, at least mine does. I figure on the bad side, I say 7 gallons, or 7 miles to the gallon rather, 26 gallons. That's going to put me around, 182-ish, you do the math, 182-ish miles that I can get on a tank. I'll round that up to 200. So 200 is my fuel window. I know I got to get gas by 200 miles. That's my red line, my stop point. And so I'm going to go along, and I'll show you this in a minute. I'll go along the expressway and I'll look for exits, and I'll click on those exits and then see how many miles it is to that point from my start point and see if that falls in my fuel window. And I'll stretch it out as far as I can looking for exits. And then when I find a handful of exits I like, then I start looking at the gas stations at those exits, and I go to Street View, and you can see what the pumps look like. You can see if there's an RV island. You can usually tell if it's got gas at it. Some of that Google Map stuff's really detailed, and you can definitely see which stations have the higher canopies. In fact, a lot of pictures I've found actually there's a truck and a trailer under the canopy filling up when the picture was taken for Google. So yeah, so we'll go back in the house and I will show you. I'll do a screen recording and show you the websites I use and how I do this. Stick around. So I want to make kind of a channel announcement. If you guys have been following my channel, number one, if you're subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. You are one of those that have helped me get over the 1,000 subscribers and really got the channel up and going. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed and you're watching my videos, why not? It's free. Just hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing. It'll add me into your channels over on the side. And if you get bored of me, you can always delete me later. But if you subscribe to me, then you can always come back and find me easier. Next time you can search through your channels to find me instead of having to, flip around looking for my name or looking for one of my videos. Take it a step further, you can hit the notification bell and you will get notified every time I put up a new video. So, having said that, channel announcement. I am creating or have created a second YouTube channel. That channel is called Arrowhead Outdoor Adventures. I am going to be moving all of my outdoor content, hunting, fishing, camping, not towing, but the actual camping, hiking, kayaking, stuff with the dogs, that's all going to that other channel. Um, I want to keep this channel for you guys based on the truck, the tractors, a little bit of a teaser for you. If finances work out the way I think they're going to in the spring, I'm going to have a new toy to have introduced as part of our video series here. Uh, Compact utility tractor. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, though. So I'm hoping that's coming in the future. But anyway, the other channel is Arrowhead Outdoor Adventures. That's going to be where all of the outdoor content is going. So if you're interested in that content and you're watching that on this channel, that's not going to be on this channel anymore. The current videos will be here, but the new stuff's going to be under the other channel. So I will put a link to that channel in the description for this video. And if you guys are interested, I'd love to have you over there on that channel too. Please subscribe to it. It'll help get that channel started, get it going. It helps out the YouTube algorithm and all that good stuff. So anyway, I'm blabbering on. Go check out the new channel. The link's below in the description. We'll get back to the gas station video.
Okay, so I assume you guys have all seen Google. Go up here to your little dots, go to Maps, and let's say I'm getting ready to plan a trip to Mackinac City. Okay, I hit directions, and then I'm going to say I'm going to start in Portland. And then here we are. So I can see right here, this is going to be a trip I'm going to need fuel, right? As we said earlier, 200 miles is kind of my line that I say I'm not going any further. So if I take my mouse and I drag it along my route, you can see here that the number, if I can get past that, the number's changing. It's showing me how far, sorry, every time I go over something, it picks up on it. But you can see as I'm dragging along, it shows my distance on the route. So about Gaylord, I'm at 174. If I go to 200, it's going to put me kind of out a little bit in no man's land here. So I happen to know from previous trips that there is a station near Gaylord that I really like. I'm sorry, it's not. there's a station by Grayling I really like because it's right after the 127-75 merge. So if I go up to Gaylord, there's a fuel stop right here. I just clicked on Gaylord and it happened to show me this. So we'll go up and we'll just kind of zoom in on that area of the map. And we're going to look for an exit. Well, right here's an exit. And the more we zoom in, you just kind of look around. Well, here's a Marathon gas station right here. So if we click on the street, it shows us our street view here. I can zoom in and I can zoom out. I can turn, if I click the page where these arrows are, I can kind of turn the map around and see, you know, different angles and whatnot. If we grab this compass down here, we can turn around and around and go back this way. So you can see it's got a relatively high canopy, but the thing you want to watch for is how are the pumps oriented. In this case, if I pulled in here and I had my F350, I could pull along this direction as long as there was no cars here, and I could hit probably this last pump here. My trailer would be blocking these two pumps. Probably not the ideal place for me to fill my truck if I'm pulling my camper. What I like to look for, I'll zoom back out here and I'll show you the station that I do like to use. So here's Otsego. Down here by Grayling. Right about here. So right here's an exit and on-ramp. I happen to know that this back in here is Charlie's Corner, Charlie's Country Corner and Marathon Gas. This is a perfect gas station. So you see as you're looking at the overhead view, how much room there is to drive around. You can see there's semis here. There's semi parking out back. So this is a great station because you can drive around it. Well, if you go down a street view here, you can also see, see here, right there, this right here. Yes, even I struggle with technology sometimes. Okay, let's see if we can get up a little closer. A little closer. See what that says right there? RV Island. That is a gas pump and a diesel pump. That is what I'm looking for if I'm looking for a station because I can pull my truck right up in there. There's lots of room I can get around and navigate my truck and trailer. So that's just a quick how-to on the Google Maps. Um, if you've never used it before, it's a great tool. The other thing you can do to get to that street view is you can click down here on this little guy, and that will light up all your roads. If you notice, they were blue the whole time because I already had street view turned on. So if they're not blue, then you don't have that. You can change, your map view, traffic. You can add all these different filters. You can change to satellite view or just a map. I like satellite view because then I can kind of get that bird's eye view from above and I can tell that's a gas station and I can almost just about tell that that's an RV Island right there, although it's right there. It was easier to tell, from the street view. But again, you just click the little guy and then just click somewhere that it's blue. And then you can use your arrows to navigate around. Your compass, you can spin the page. So there you go. I hope that helps you guys out. Hope it answers your questions. That's how I plan my fuel stops. So thanks for watching.